welcome to SunRISE with Dr. Surajit Khanna. Today, we're going to be talking about, well, what everybody else is talking about, the election. And we have a special guest with us, the very intelligent Priya. So anything she says, you better listen to it because she's going to be a medical student, a doctor. So we're impressed with that. And Dr. Khanna is with us. We're going to be talking about what everybody's talking about. A lot of you people were up all late last night. So trying to find the results, and Dr. Khanna is going to break it down for us. This is SunRISE with Dr. Khanna for a news bite for anybody from ages 10 to 25, brought to you by KhannaForKids.com. And it's just a good morning news message, a news bite, a little taste of what's the news going on today. Dr. Khanna is an attorney. He is a child safety advocate, and he is the champion of the nonprofit Voice of the Kids. He also has just launched an initiative which we're very excited about to help ex-incarcerated, those who just formerly have been incarcerated youth coming out of incarceration, trying to get them their feet back on the ground, getting jobs, getting food, getting amenities, getting housing. So we are very aggressively just kicking that off. Listen, we also been having young people like Priya on this show. We've had like 4, 5, or 6. We're on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you want to be on the show, we want you. We want to hear young people's voice. Voice of the Kids wants to hear your voice because your voice counts. Please contact us at contactk.com. Fill out a short form. We'll get right back to you. Contactk.com. Dr. Khanna, I'd like to introduce you now and tell us about the election.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Gary. Good morning, our guest, Priya. And good morning, America. I think today is a very, very special day because we would like to hear something about the presidential election results. Unfortunately, this year is a special year, 2020, which started with pandemic. Because of the pandemic, the history has changed in regards to the election. Normally, by the end of the day of election, at least by next day morning, we would be knowing who became the president of the United States. Unfortunately, this year is not the same because of lot of mail-in ballots, absentee ballots, all those things will be coming in, and they have to be postmarked yesterday. That was the election day, and the mailman delivers whenever the mailman delivers. There's no certainty. Okay, so it's not a text, it's not an email, it's a mailman delivering those mails. So it could be sometime this week. I exactly don't know when is the deadline for the counting, but I am hoping by end of this week, we should be knowing who is the actual elected president for the next term.
You mean, Dr. Khanna, you can't text in your vote?
Wish we could, I believe, right? Or maybe in 2040 we might be. I don't know. We'll see. So based on Gary's request, I was told to give you guys a bite on the result of election, what is going on. Well, it's all over the place because CNN says something, ABC says something. What's the other one?
Fox News.
Fox News says something. So everybody is saying something different. But I want to follow CNN. Okay, that's much more comfortable to me. So Gary just posted the chart here, red and blue. So looks like a lot of states are still on the red zone and some states have blue zone. But again, those are not complete results. So the two parties, one is Republican and the Democratic parties. We all know that. So one is trying to win in some states and one is trying to win in another state. So we have some major decision to make because electoral votes, that's how it's decided. So some major states, electoral votes counts. And some of the swinging states, just like Ohio, Pennsylvania. So Ohio still looks like Republicans are leading with a very minimum lead. Pennsylvania is still, I don't know, I think it is undecided, I believe.
Yes, undecided.
Still undecided. And Arizona, I think it's already decided or getting to be decided.
Different news people, different news centers are
Yeah,
calling it. Yeah.
again, depends upon how many percentage of vote has been counted. So, these are all things that's undecided. So still, again, just like pandemic, as I said, we don't know when is this pandemic is going to be over. Okay, we thought in February when the entire nation announced we got to go for lockdown for 3 weeks. After that, we should be okay. Well, 3 weeks became 3 months, 3 months became 6 months, and we are in the section of 9 months. So we still don't have a vaccine. We still don't have anything in place. Similarly, this election is undecided. Okay, so let's not dwell on who is going to be the next president. We don't know that yet. So let's wish both of them a good luck, and let's see who is going to be the next leader. But how can they lead if we don't have a good voice? That's the reason why I have been advocating the children, the young adults, that your voice counts. So if your voice does not come to the surface, then this country cannot go to the next step. If you want this country to go to the next millennium, then all the young adults should come up, should raise their voice to have their voice being implemented. That's what we are trying to do. That's what my main job is, to make sure the voice of the young adults be heard by everyone, including the leaders. Because one day, these young adults are going to be the leader of this country. So if we don't have a good foundation, then we cannot have a good country. United States is an amazing country, it's a land of opportunity, and it's a land of the brave. So how can we be brave if we don't raise our voice, if we don't give our voice and hear each other? Fighting is not the solution. Hearing each other is the solution. So this pandemic really taught all of us a lot of things. We need to fight in order to be a winner, but not to fight with each other. So by saying that, I would like to welcome Priya. And Gary, you want to add something before Priya starts her opinion? I can't hear you. You're in mute.
I'm unmuted now. See, that's, most of the time, most people like me when I'm on mute. But Priya, what I do want to ask you is, I perceive, because I do have young kids, that there is a big difference between older people and young people of what they view as important, especially for this election. So we want to hear your opinion, and I want to hear also what your friends and people you're bumping into, that their opinion also.
Yeah, so I think a huge one is student debt forgiveness. So I'm not quite sure if, one of the main contenders right now that we're deciding between Democrat and Republicans are, very focused on that. I know Bernie was, but to speak on that and to kind of tie it into these juvenile reentry programs, kids have to decide they have to make a major financial decision to decide to go to college. And, at that age, it's kind of hard to figure out, you might have an idea of what you want to do, but it's hard to say because we don't have much experience at that time. And just thinking, especially coming from my background with, in biology and physiology, just thinking about, age and brain development. The prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision making, isn't quite developed yet. But yet we, expect children to make these major decisions at such young ages. Not everybody's going to be making smart decisions at that age, or the right ones. And, a lot of degrees, especially thinking about like past 10 years, a lot of the degrees that people have been getting, like, especially in like computer science fields, like a lot of them aren't even valid anymore because like tech is changing so fast. And there's a lot of degrees out there like that, that have no real use anymore. And to tie that back to these programs, like kids make bad decisions. It happens. And I don't think they should have that label over them for the rest of their life. And unfortunately, I think it just works out that way. There's so many issues that they've had in their lives that may have led up to that point, and they need to get addressed. So, things like mental health, behavioral, and physical health, and any, issues going on with their families, and potentially substance abuse, and having, societal and peer pressure and stuff like that, affecting them. And I think having these programs implemented will help address these issues, basically. And I really think they should be given a fair chance, because like I said, they just thinking about, brain development, it's hard to hold them accountable because they're so young and they don't really understand the implications of their decisions, the full consequences of, the decisions they decide to make.
No, that's absolutely understandable what you just said, because that's the reason why I took the major initiative to launch this program, because I know that federal government has this Juvenile Justice Reformation Act. They started in 1974, and then, we just cannot blame the government for everything they don't do or they do, okay? Because if we know the definition of who is the government, we are the government, okay? We form the government. So we just can't blame one leader, okay? But what is he going to lead if we don't have followers, right? So, me being exposed to the government world before, so I know how difficult it is to, move and maneuver things. So that's why in last few years, when I'm really been concentrating on child safety and all these programs, so I thought, what? There are people, and the main thing which kind of really shocked me was when I saw the data that every day in United States, we're having 30 to 50 young adults committing suicide after they get out of jail. That number is, to me, it is a high number. Every day, that means we are losing that many lives every day. Those lives could be potential for this country, okay? And you rightly said that brain does not develop when they make those mistakes. And they do not have the proper guidance when they make the mistake and when they're incarcerated. They still don't go through the normal training, normal therapy, normal all these things when they're incarcerated. They don't do that, okay? They are completely secluded from the society. They're rejected from the society. And when they come out of incarceration, and I use this word, that yes, physically they are released from incarceration, but they're not released from the mental incarceration. Mentally, they're still incarcerated. Mentally, they still think there's no light at the end of the tunnel. They think the future is dark. They don't think that they can be a doctor, they can be an engineer, they can't have a family, they can't have a house, they can't have a car. Means everything is dark for them. Okay, so this year, this 2020, which I told from the day one when 2020 started, that what is normally in a medical field 2020 means, like clarity, right? The vision 2020. What is your eyesight? Oh, I'm 2020. We say that. So 2020 means clarity. Actually, you know what, Priya and Gary, both of you, I want you guys to think that this clarity has come up in this 2020 because of pandemic. Okay, seriously, all these things which is happening in United States, forget about going out of United States right now. In the United States, if we look in the United States, what is happening? The fight because of the color, because of the race, the fight because of police and because of criminals, the fight because of education, the fight because of school system, means all these things, the fighting, the internet, means everything, and all these are coming to surface. So that's why when we launched this program, this was well taken, well accepted by a lot of people, and I appreciate that. You are sharing your thought, and I would like you to kind of close this session this morning by saying, give a message, whether it is strong or light, doesn't matter. Give a message to all the young adults, those who are listening to this or will be listening to this, how they should live their life, and they should not be dependent on somebody else's doing. So what would be your message on this to all the young adults?
Yeah, I know times are really tough right now, and it seems like, all the odds are against you sometimes, but I think it's really important to, hang in there, stay strong, and just don't let your willpower, get withered away. I think that's what's going to carry you on to having success in any, field or aspect of life that you can think of, is, just never give up hope, and always just keep striving for what you want.
Just like how you are doing, right? If you can,
Yes.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, Priya, for joining in, and thank you very much, Gary, for passing this message to all the young adults today, especially when everybody is waiting to hear who will be the next president of the United States, which is undecided, and I don't think will be decided even today. I hope it gets decided, because people are in anxiety, and like Priya said, people wants to see, especially the students, how the debts can be forgiven because of the pandemic situation. We are having a lot of financial distress, but regardless of that, I would like to give the last message to all the young adults: do not lose hope. Like Priya said, our guest this morning, what does the message she says? That do not give up hope. Hang in there. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Do not give up, because after sunset, there is a sunrise. So
very good.
That is very important. So thank you again, and have a wonderful Wednesday. Gary, is your
Hold
turn.
on. Yeah, I just want to make an announcement that Dr. Connor is going to start doing mentoring for young people. He's going to be an advisor, a teacher, a coach, a trainer, an inspirer, whatever word you want to use. We're trying to figure out ways that we can reach out to the youth, that we can see what they're thinking, and perhaps address the issues. We're specifically targeting the ex-incarcerated, but we want to hear young people's thoughts about the ex-incarcerated. So quickly, just a quick question. Would you say, Priya, I just want to know, as far as advice, mentoring, what issue do you think young people would like to hear advice from someone who's been through something? What issue would be the most prevalent in your mind?
Sorry, could you repeat what the?
Well, if there was someone to give young people advice, what would be the number one topic they would need advice on?
Number one topic right now. I would say probably, like racial and social injustices
Okay.
right now. It's probably
That's
a big one.
That is the big one. And Dr. Khanna's been talking about that. We thank you, Priya. Thank you, Dr. Khanna. We look forward to the Inspire mentoring section. We're working on it now. Keep your eyes open. We're here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on SunRISE with Dr. Khanna. Please contact us at contactk.com. Like Priya was a fantastic guest. We want to hear from you, so contact us. Be on the show with us. Dr. Khanna is a child safety advocate, and we are excited about all the things that he's doing. He's at khannaforkids.com. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/Khanna4kids. Thank you, Dr. Khanna. Why don't you say goodbye?
Thank you very much, Gary. Thank you very much, Priya. And God bless. Have a wonderful day.